the work that I do, and most of why I'm here, right? So let me just start here. I had never seen everybody. For those of you, anybody do like social media, you do Facebook and all that stuff. You like to raise your hand so I can see you. All right. So I promise you, I'm not a TV dude. Right? I never ever watched like sitcoms. But they were my homegirls especially was bombarding my social media with the Scandal board. Like every Thursday, just before 10 o'clock, I knew Scandal was coming on. And then they just like, throughout Scandal, they putting stuff up. I'm like, I gotta watch this. Like, and I don't know when I'm gonna watch it, but at some point, so I didn't get to do season 1, I didn't do season 2, I think we might be in season 3, if I'm not mistaken. So with season 3, so I went to Australia a couple weeks ago, and I just put it in the back of my mind, like Scandal. At some point, 2014, you got at least see one episode. So I'm headed to Australia. It's a long flight, right? And then going to Australia, you can read every book that you ever wanted to read and still have about 6 hours left when you finish, right? So I was just like, all right, I got it. I was like, let me just watch a little TV because I don't like to do the movie thing, because my attention span. So I hit TV, and believe it or not, they had Scandal. I was like, oh, I can catch I'm like, I hope it's good, because if it's good, I can waste 45 minutes times a whole season, and I'll wake up and I'll be in Melbourne, right? So now you gotta understand, as a high school dropout, and then it took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree. So I kind of learned through deductive reasoning. Like that's my thing, like observation. I love the rubric, right? I love teachers who like rubric you out and they just tell you to get a 4 point, you need to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm like, I can do that, all right? Like if you don't give me a rubric, I'm just supposed to know it's kind of hard, right? So I'm real observant, I pay attention. So when I'm watching Scandal, I'm not just watching Scandal to watch it. I'm asking myself, what makes this the #1 show in the world? Like why are people fiending to see this particular show? So I watched a couple episodes, and I was like, ooh, Olivia Pope. I'm like, ooh, I get it now. Like I was wondering why, a lot of sisters would start to drink red wine. Like I'm like, girl, you never drank red wine before. They just like drinking red wine now, wearing the pantsuit. I'm like, what? I used to just wear the dress ministry. What's going on, right? And when I watched Olivia Pope, I was like, I get it. So I watched one episode, and they had hired this young girl. I think she was helping, Huck with the computer thing. I don't remember her name, but what's her name? Anybody know? She said it. Thanks. Say her name for me. Queen? Oh, her name is Queen? All right, so Queen comes in, right? And Queen is getting emotional. She's starting to like cry and go through it. And Harris was like, don't let Olivia see you do that. He was like, we don't do that. Olivia, and my man said it. I'm telling y'all, I felt like I was in church. Like it was one scene, I felt like I was in church and the organ was playing. Like just something went down my spine. Harris says, we are gladiators in suits. And I said, ooh, no, he just didn't say that. He said, we are gladiators in suits, meaning we're not like them. They moan, they cry, they complain. We don't do that. We are gladiators in suits. There is no, look, he said, you better not ever let Olivia hear you talking like that. We don't talk about problems like everybody else. We solve problems. I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that. Listen to me, you think I'm playing. I like it so much that season 9 of TGIM, that's all I'm dealing with is problems. That's my whole season, right? So I'm in, and I got a new crew, so I got to do all of them. They need me to do all of them. So they like E.T., we got to get everything right this time. And so you can't be doing them from week to week because we need to get the music right. We need to get the imagery right. Like everything needs to, so give us all 12. So look, y'all, I'm not playing. I'm doing number 3, see, just the other day. I'm doing number 3 of season 9, and I'm talking about, I can't tell you what I'm talking about, I want to mess it up for you, but I start crying. I'm in the midst of a TGIM crying, and a part of me like, okay, stop. And the part of me is like, just keep going, it's okay. I know Olivia Pope will get upset because you're not supposed to be seen crying, but just keep going. And I go so deep into that thing because what I'm talking about is the day I must have been about 30 years old dealing with my biological father. And I remember myself saying that I will never address problems like this ever again. Now what I need you to do for me, you listen to me, you cannot be weak in working in the urban school district. Like for real, I feel sorry. I'm in my last phase, just got the defense approved. I'm in the last phase. I had this one little class I should have been to, last class, and I'm finished with this PhD, and I'm in a class, and I'm looking at the teachers that are around me, and we're talking about urban education. I'm like, ooh, you about to get eaten up. Ooh, you on some theory, boo. It ain't even going down like that. Like what she teaching you right now, you not none of that. You know, it might be about 10 years before you get to any of this right here. Like that's, I love it. I like. She's a teacher. That's what she's supposed to do. But I'm trying to tell you, if you are about to go into Detroit, if you about to go in Chicago, if you about to go in the Garrett School District with that thing that you got on you, you in a world of trouble. You need to be a gladiator. You need to understand that. Okay, so then I was in Detroit. This school went from 2,500. It went from 2,500 to about 400 students. 400 or 500, that's how bad it is, right? And so I'm in there and I'm talking to them about, look, when these young men get here, this is how you got it, and you can't come with the sad story and let them get you sympathized, and their mama has, and they couldn't do their homework, and they can't read because they can't get the book. I said, listen to me, what you have to teach these kids is what my grandma taught us. She had 14 kids. So you imagine how many grandkids she had. And you know how they do, all of us get dropped off in the summertime. Whether our moms got jobs or not, grandma gotta watch us, right? I'm talking about, I've never seen my grandma with a 6-figure income, ever. Grandma like worked at the nursing home. And grandma used to come back from the Eastern Market with this old school, so forgive me, with some bologna and it's red. This old school, like, I know you like, what is he talking about? That's unsanitary, it might be, I don't know. But I'm just telling you what grandma did. And it was like a piece of meat with this red thing around it on both ends, right? And listen to me, you couldn't go in the refrigerator and just cut you up meat when you wanted to. There was a certain time you ate and grandma would cut it, and all of the cousins were sitting around, and grandma got the frying pan and put a little oil in it, and then you just see the boom. Yeah. You just see the bologna or the salami just boom in the middle, right? And then grandma flip it over, and we all get sandwiches. You might get a boiled egg sometime. You might get oatmeal sometime. I never, ever, in the midst of everything my grandmother went through, I never heard her complain. I never heard her cry. I never heard her say it's not enough. And we're all adults now doing well. Listen to me. We are at a place and a time where we have to look at problems like nobody else looks at problems. And my problem is, too many of us are obsessed with the problem. We are so consumed with the problem that we don't have time to come up with solutions. So we got to stop talking about the problem like weak people talk about the problem. We got to stop talking about the problem like people who can't come up with solutions talk. We've got to say, yep, we got a problem, but we're the solution. Why? Because this is the last place for these kids. This is it. They don't have nobody to go home to that's going to sit down with them and reason with them. They don't have anybody where you want them to go. Many of the people that they're going to, they don't have anything for them. So this is it. This is the final frontier. Now, for real, I speak with so much passion because I do it every Monday for free. Adidas not sponsoring me. You've never seen Nike sponsor a TGIM. You've never seen Chick-fil-A sponsor Reebok don't sponsor me. Why do I do it every Monday? Why have I been doing it for years? Because I'm the solution. There's somebody watching my TGIM who's on a whole other level. There's school districts that, like this school, that use it and kids are being turned around. Why? I don't have time to talk about the problem. We got a million problems and a million people that talk about it, so let them do it. That's what they do. They sit around and complain. They talk about the principal. They talk about the administration. They talk about each other. They talk about the kids. And guess what happened when you finish doing that? Absolutely nothing. Right? So the first thing y'all got to do for me is you have to understand, man, you have to understand that the school system, the school district, the classroom is where magic happens. This is where magic happens. At 8 o'clock or 8:30, whenever these babies come in and they walk into your room, boom, it's magic time. It's time to pull out that hat, the wand, pull the rabbit out. Look, it's time, it's like grandma. It's time to make magic happen. Yep, we don't have the resources that the school has up the street, but listen to me. I'll be darned if I quit and give up because we don't got the best computers. One of the greatest motivational speakers of our time will emerge from a mother who got pregnant at 17 years old. south side of Chicago. Homeless, high school dropout, abandoned buildings, trash cans. One of the greatest contributors to this world will come from some of the worst circumstances ever. Why? Because I ain't crying and complaining. I don't care where Tommy grew up at. I don't care where he grew up. I don't care what kind of resources he had. We live in the same country. We got access to the same thing. Now, he may have got it handed to him at birth. I didn't get it at birth, but I'm going to tell you something. I can go get it. We must teach our babies. We must teach our babies how to be problem solvers. We have to teach them, you can follow that generational curse, and you can keep telling me what you don't have. You can keep going home and crying and complaining, or you can go home and come up with a solution. Do you understand some of the stuff we're looking at? Computers come from third world countries. You understand some of the video game systems that these kids love come from third world countries? If third world countries can produce some of the greatest technology we've ever seen before, why surely we can teach the art? And we're talking about 12-year-olds. Third world countries in Asia, 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds are producing technology. We can teach our babies how to think on a level they've never thought on, how to think deeply. We can do it. So the classroom, this is where magic happens. We're not crying in the classroom. We're not complaining in the classroom. We're coming up with a solution, because for every problem, there is a solution. All right, so we're going to start all over again. We see problems differently. I embrace problems. Why? Olivia Pope, I tell people all the time, I'm not trying to be funny, but your income has a lot to do with your ability to solve problems. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it real slow, because I want to make sure you caught that. Olivia Pope is Olivia Pope, and she works with who she works with because she can solve problems. And when you come to her, you automatically know this is not a 50% chance, 60% chance. When I watched the show, I was like, oh, I wish I would have watched this earlier. Because I thought it was TV, and I don't really get into TV like that, entertainment. But the way Olivia Pope, when she walked in her office, the way she walked in her office. Like, I never saw her walk in her office with her head down. I watched her. I saw one episode, blew my mind. She was with, and I'm not saying I'm going to this or not, but it is what it is. She was with her, and the president was in it. I don't know, like it was a hotel room, I don't know what it was. But they was in there arguing, going off. They was going through, they go through because of their relationship. And she walked out, and she saw a couple people, and boom. She was like, you need to go do this, you need to go this, you need to go do this. I'm like, you was just in a room with my man on the emotional tip, and you walked out, closed the door, and you just flipped the switch like that. Real. Listen to me very closely when you get to this building and you get in the parking structure. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care what's going on in your home. When you park that car and you get out of that car, you leave it all in the car. You leave every trial, every tribulation. You leave every struggle. You leave everything on your mind that's on your mind. You leave it in that car, and when you get in that classroom, boom, you go beast mode. You turn it on. I've never, ever in my life, you heard my story, my wife has a chronic illness. It has absolutely nothing to do, when I walk into a building to speak, it has absolutely nothing to do with my wife. I love my wife. We had worship this morning. We talked this morning. I encouraged her this morning. But when I drove here and got in this room, this has nothing to do with my wife. My son just called me, sophomore in college, going through his go-through. I gave my man a pep talk, but when I walked in here, there is no Jalen. There is no Dee Dee. There is no Jada. I love my family, but when I come to do what I come to do, I go beast mode. I cut everything else off. The only thing that's important to me is what I'm doing right now. I have the ability to change a teacher's thought process forever. I have the ability to help a teacher to go from victim to victor. And when you go from victor to victim, everything changes in your life. I have the ability to help you inspire students like you've never inspired students before. I don't care what's going on in your life, and I'm not minimizing your life. But that struggle belongs to you, it belongs to your life. When you come in here, you get paid to do a job. When you come in here, we gladiators in t-shirts. We gladiators in jeans. And we operate different. We function different. That's what makes America America. This is America. When we send our troops out, we don't send our troops out to come home defeated. That's not what we said. This is America. When you put on the red, white, and blue, that means something. When we're in the Olympics, okay, some of y'all, you don't know this because you ain't really into sports. There was a time in the Olympics that the professional basketball player didn't go play in the Olympics. We sent our college students, and they got ran. No, maybe you don't know that. We sent our college students. We sent our sophomores and our juniors, and they got ran by the professionals. And then the president made a phone call to the NBA. Now look, I don't really know I don't know why y'all don't go. but we getting humiliated. I don't care if it's basketball, we looking bad. I need y'all to send MJ, send Larry Bird, send Magic. Okay, y'all, this is a new generation. Y'all young, y'all don't know. Back in the day, those boys didn't play together. They were enemies. They don't play together. But they found a cause called America that was so great that they all came together and they called them the Dream Team. And they went on a mission. Like, okay, y'all been beating up these little 19-year-olds. We about to grow men about to come out. It's a different experience. And they murdered them. You're the Dream Team. You all we got. If you can't change these kids, who can? And if our kids continue to be on the level that they're on academically, we won't be a world power forever. The stuff that's going on in America right now, these kids' ability to, their intellect, they can't think deeply right now. If this goes on for another 20, 30 years, we won't be a superpower. Like, for real, I just say this and I hope it's not the truth. I just hope I'm getting emotional. But I think a lot of our splendor is some past stuff that we, right now, it's some past stuff, tradition that we're holding on to. I don't know if this generation right now, if this generation represents when we went to the moon back in the day. I don't know if this that same group of people. So you got a job to do, guys. I don't care how hard it is. I'm not minimizing what you're going through. I'm just telling you, I watched my grandma. I ain't never seen none of the men that got my grandmother pregnant. I don't know none of them. I know one person that stayed. I know one person that didn't get abortions. I know one person that didn't give us up for adoption. That was my grandma. My grandma said, I don't care how many of y'all have. I would wish y'all slow down a little bit, but grandma couldn't do too much talking. She had 14. Like, I got aunts younger than me, so she couldn't really, ain't no real speech she could give on having babies. But I guarantee you, every last one of my aunts and my uncles and my mother who had children, my grandmother was there to raise them. And my grandmother never said, leave $100 at the door when you go. She said, just drop them off. I got them from here. And I remember some of my aunts would be like, well, he need that, and he need that. And grandma like, hold up, give me 1 second. Do me a favor, drop them off. Don't tell me how to. That's how you got here. So I don't need a lesson on what they need. Just drop them off. And I got it from here. Shh, they dropping them off to you. You all we got. We don't have nothing else. And so you got to do me a huge favor. This third one, and you seeing it all around the buildings, I need you to go beast mode for me, all right? Now, this is important, because when you look at me, I got to take you back to how this whole thing started. And this whole thing started because there was a pastor who was in my life who wasn't afraid, right? He was the first person that was in my life that wasn't afraid. When I say afraid, like for real, when you come to church and y'all thugged out, a lot of people be afraid if the thug kids is coming to church. So I didn't grow up in church. I started going with my boys who was thugs. So though the whole nine, stealing cars, in and out of jail, I went to church with those boys because they love the Lord. And when we got to church, the pastor would always say to me, he came up to me, are you a high school dropout? I'm like, yeah, we all high school dropouts. He's like, okay, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to get your GED. And I need you to go to college. Okay, cute. Came back to church the next week. Young man, did you get your GED? I'm like, get my GED? I told you last week I was a high school dropout. Like, what's the GED thing about? The week after, did you get your GED? Every week when I went, we had the same exact conversation. It was nothing about God. It was always first, did you get your GED? And are you on your way to college? I'm like, come on, bro. How many times we gonna have this conversation? I'm a high school dropout. My mama got pregnant at 17. She barely finished college. I don't even know my real daddy, but what I do know about him is he's a high school dropout. What I know about my grandfather, I've never met him a day in my life, but I know he's a high school dropout. We don't do school. This is Detroit. Ford, GM, and Chrysler. This ain't Boston. This ain't Harvard. This ain't Brown, this ain't MIT, this is Detroit. Detroit, you could drop out of high school, go get a job at the plant, and make $16 to $20 an hour. Don't nobody go to college. The next week, so that you get your GED. Now, all that other stuff you're talking about, I'm not really interested in that. Listen to me, they're not mature enough to dream for themselves yet. Don't let their little personalities or their little behavior dictate to you what they gonna do. You like, he off the chain. You gonna write somebody off at 8? I might die at 88 years old. You're gonna write me off at 8 years old? Like I don't get a chance just because I'm clowning at 10 years old? I'm in the 5th grade, I'm clowning at 5th, that you just gonna write me off? Beast mode. Now, I know you know what beast mode is, but I have to explain to you that there comes a point in the jungle where the gazelle looks at the lion in his face. Like there's a point where they meet up. There are all these animals in there, but they meet up. The gazelle looks at the lion and the lion looks at the gazelle. Now while they both look at each other, they have 2 different experiences. The gazelle looks at the lion, it's like, I gotta go. So as soon as he looks away, or at that moment where I think, you ever seen a deer? A deer sees you and the deer stops and it is freezing, but it's looking at you like, hopefully you don't see me. And I will sit here in the hopes that this ain't really happening, what's happening. And you're just gonna keep going. But if you've ever paid attention to a deer, you continue to walk toward the deer, it ain't dumb. At some point, it knows you're getting a little too close for comfort. Boom, it takes off. So the gazelle is looking at the lion and saying, at some point, if he does not go in a different, I gotta go. The lion is looking at the gazelle like, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. And I'm coming after you regardless. But I don't know if it's gonna be a you run, because I wanna chase you, because that's a part of it. No, I wanna make sure you just heard what I just said to you. Some of y'all, the hunt, when you're in an urban school district, the hunt is a part of it. That's a part of it. They're just not gonna come and sit down, be quiet, go through the hunt is a part of it. Like if you're a lion, you get excited about just the hunt part, not just to eat the gazelle. You like to chase it. Some of you have lost that. You just like want them all to come sit down, all to read out loud, all to be A students. Like you forgot that a part of what you do is teach. No, I'm going to say it again. You forgot that a part of it is not just you do a curriculum, you put it in front of somebody. You forgot that there are 4 or 5 different learning styles. You forgot that just everybody don't sit down and shut up for a whole hour. You forgot that there's some kids who are going to be ET one day, and who ET is now, teachers didn't really appreciate all this energy back then. It worked when you were an adult. This works. So like your little presentation, you don't want nobody come in here boring. You like, but it didn't work when I was in the 3rd grade and the 4th grade. Right? So you forgot, listen to me, this is important. You forgot that a part of teaching is teaching. You forgot that a part of teaching is being creative. You forgot that a part of teaching, that it requires you to do some things every day to make sure that the class is alive. You forgot that. So that's why when people show the video, that's why they show the video. Because not only is it a learning moment, but there's some music, there's some excitement. You forgot, a lion, people get it twisted, that a part of being a lion and a lioness is not just going to kill something and eat it, but it's a hunt. So if you ever watched lions before, they'll have some lions like, they're like, okay, so lions, they listen first. That's how they hunt well. They listen. So if you ever seen a house cat, because I know most of you have not seen lions, right? But on television, right? So pay attention to the house cat next time you see it. I was walking about 2:30 in the morning the other day in prayer, and then I saw this image right in front of me. It was about a few houses down, and I noticed, I was like, okay, that's a cat. And when I was walking, it was funny. You saw the cat stop. And look, as I got closer, boom, the cat took off. They listen. That's a part of hunting. So when the kids come in every day, they're not just a number. You got to listen, because if you can listen to people, you can pick some stuff up when you listen. That will teach you how to teach, right? So what the lion will do, they'll have some lions come over here, and those lions will chase the gazelles, and they'll chase the gazelles to the lions that's going to eat them. It's like they play games. You ever seen a cat before with a mouse? It'll just be like throwing it up, playing with it. It's like, I'm going to eat you, but I just want to play first. So we'll play, give you about an hour, just play. I'll let you run, come grab you. Make you think you got away, break the little leg, right? Right? Like we're watching, they play with them, and then they finally eat them. There's an art to teaching, and you know how to do it. And I get it. Sometimes with all the standardized tests, sometimes with the legislation, sometimes with what's going on in the local school districts, but sometimes what's going on in the actual school, sometimes that could get to you. But we gladiators. That's what makes us who we are. I got a real life, y'all. I I ain't a dude with the video. I have a real life. I got a wife who can no longer work. I got a real life. I got aunts that are dying of cancer. I got a real life. I got a son in college. I don't know how many of y'all remember what that was like, but that's serious. At $25,000. Like, it's serious. Whether you win, lose, or draw, it's still $25,000. There's a lot of coaching I got to do with my man. I got a 16-year-old daughter who now wants to dress a certain way so she can get attention. And struggling. I'm just going to be real with y'all, transparent. Struggling. Because she's a black female going to a predominantly white school, and her hair ain't the same as everybody else's. And the white boys ain't, forgive me, ain't looking at my daughter like that. And my daughter's coming home struggling. And the teachers don't love my daughter the way they loved her when she was at the mixed school where they had black, white female teachers, white male teachers, white. And so she said, Dad, the white boys at the school, those little boys ain't looking at me like the boys used to look at me when I was at an all-black school. And it's killing her self-esteem. And she ain't all A's no more because she's dealing with that. I got a real life. I got a real life. That's my baby girl, 16 years old, and she's telling me about white boys at the school and how they treat her and what they saying to her. It's real. It's real. My daughter has been called the N-word in class. It's real. But I'm a gladiator. I tell my daughter, what you want to lead a school? But just go address it. Go sit down and talk to the teacher. Go sit down and talk to the student. Go sit down and talk to his parent. Let's have a conference. And E.T. the hip-hop preacher had to go up to the school and show them what I do and say, y'all might need some training on inclusion. It's real, y'all. But I can't give up. I can't quit. So, yup, you're going through some real stuff, but that pastor spoke into my life, and he challenged me, and he stayed on me. And guess what happened? I finally got my GED, and guess what happened? I finally got my 4-year degree, and guess what happened? I got my master's degree, and guess what happened? In December, I defend. He pushed me. You gotta push them. They're not done at 8. They're not done at 10. They're not done at 12. They're not finished. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta ask them, what's your goals? What's your dream? What do you want to be in life? You gotta take them to go see it. You gotta bring it to the classroom. We are gladiators. If it can't get done on this level, they going to jail. If it can't get done on this level, they gonna die. If it can't get done on this level, they're gonna continue to keep those same cycles going. If you can't do it, it can't be done. We can't count on Dad who's in prison. We can't count on Mom who's never done this before. We can't count on anybody. Teachers, this is it. America, this is who we count on every morning. From 8 to 3, we counting on you. So yeah, I know it's hard. I'm not minimizing it. I did it for 14 years. No, I'm not just talking about something I read. K through 12 and in college, I taught on every level. Yup, it's difficult, but we're Americans. Yup, it's difficult, but we can get it done. We are the dream team. And so when you go back to your room, I need you to do me a favor. You're either gonna cry and complain about the stuff that's going on, or you're gonna come up with solutions for it. You're either gonna go in beast mode, and let's look at that gazelle and say, you might wanna run. Let's look at the student. Let's look at the legislation. Let's look at all the policies. Let's look at parents and say, I will come up with a solution for this. I'm telling you, okay, let me just show you before I get out of here. This is crazy. My man pushed me. My man pushed me. My man pushed me. I didn't even think I could finish high school, let alone write a book. We had the #1 audio book in 5 countries, y'all. We're in Australia, we're in Europe, we're in South Africa. He pushed me. He pushed me past my own limits. And if you look at the first book, let me just say this, I don't mind telling you transparency. I flunked English twice in college. The 3rd time I clept it. First book, you just look at it black and white. See the first one, that's all I could give you at the time. And he pushed me, and I kept going. Look at that second one. You look at the difference between the second and the first one. Just the paper, just everything about it. You'll get a chance to read it. I got deep. At the end, I did the summary. I got the PhD side. The summary. No, for real, I did. You see on the inside right here, after you finish the whole chapter, right? Because we want you to internalize it. Some people need rewards, so you just sign your name, and when I meet you, I'll sign. This is not Detroit. It's not. I didn't learn this in Detroit. It's not what I was exposed to in Detroit. This is when I got out of Detroit. It's when I got out of Detroit. I know everybody don't want to read, but you can get the pictures and summarize the entire chapter. Somebody pushed me, y'all. Somebody didn't give up on me. So do me a last, this is my last thing. Real, whether you say it to me or not, I'm gonna be honest with you. You can tell me or not tell me, but I know what your expectations of me are. I know when you believe in me by the way you talk to me in class, by what you ask me to do or what you don't ask me to do. And I need you to do me a favor. I need you to believe in me. Because if you believe in this high school dropout, my mama doesn't even believe it. When my mom sees me sometime and travel with me, she's like, who is this kid? Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, how did you go from that angry boy, because your daddy wasn't in your life, to this? So guys, you have what it takes. You have what it takes to push Eric Thomas to be a best-selling author. You know what it's like when your kids come home and Daddy, they showed your stuff. Daddy, they passed out your book in class. I told them I already had one. No, I had to go up to the school. My son was like, when he was in high school, he was like, that's my father. The teacher was like, that's not your father. He's like, no, that is my dad. Like, your dad doesn't live in Lansing, Michigan. I had to go up to the school. He's like, yo, that's your father. You know what it's like for your son when he's traveling with you and his favorite team is Alabama and he meets Nick Saban at 19 years old? And not just meet Nick Saban, but he hears how Nick Saban is talking to your father. You know what that does for a child? Knows that what it does for a child when a football player who he looks up to his dad? But that all happened because one man believed in me. One man pushed me. And I'm still in that man's life and that man is still in my life. He's in Chicago right now. And I've been a blessing to his children, as well as his children have been a blessing to me. So listen to me, guys, beast mode. 180 days beast mode. Why 180 days? Because that one day you take off might be the day that kid needs you. That's why they give us the summers off. I know it's hard. I remember like March, April, like it's like, when did this go in? Right around March, April, it always happened to me. I had to just do something to kind of get out of that spirit. I was like, shoot, how long is this going to last? So I just encourage you guys. You got a great principal, right? I'm talking about with a vision, y'all. Do me a favor. And I know this is going to be hard for a lot of you, but a lot of us like to fight just to be fighting. We don't even know what we fight. Some of us just so used to fighting. Like, we just change. It's like, oh, it changed. No, not doing it. I mean, you don't even know what it is. You haven't even studied it. You just automatically know that you just like, I'm not friendly. I'm not nice. I'm not doing it. Listen to me. I've been married 24 years. I know what it's like. I've been a pastor for the last 10, 12 years. I know what it's like when two people get on the same page. It's beautiful. Ask Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. I don't know who else the other dudes were. Like, they were kind of in and out throughout the course of it. But there was two dudes that was always on the same page. Scottie and Michael Jordan, always. And the Lakers had a dynasty when Shaq and Kobe was together. One of them just couldn't do that share thing, that team thing. I believe they could have probably won another 5 or 6 easy had they stayed together. Guys, you have a visionary. You have somebody that believes not only in you, but believes in the school district and has proven that they can bring about change. Let's get on the same page. Lions don't hunt alone. They do it together. It's a tribe vote. They do it as a unit. Let's work together. 180. Try to be nice. Try to work as a unit. And if it don't work, you can say, you know what, I tried that team thing for a whole year. It's overrated. I try to get on the same page as everybody. It's overrated. We try to have the same language. Overrated. I'm not into that. Just try it though. And if you try it, I'm telling you, not only are you going to change your life, you're going to change others' lives, and there's no greater feeling in the world. Car, money, house, stuff. There's no greater feeling in the world that you help somebody break a cycle, and you help somebody to live their dreams, and help their family break generational curses. And I'm telling you, because it happened to me, and the greatest feeling in the world is I graduated from Michigan State University. My son is a student at Michigan State University and works for Tom Izzo. My son was 18 years old on the road to the Final Four. I'm looking at my son like, wow, I opened up these doors for you, kid. What you gonna do for your generation? So you guys have an opportunity to change an entire generation. Real quick, questions, comments, concerns before we leave. I know we don't have a lot of time. Questions, comments, concerns. Quickly. quickly, question. That was a lot of stuff. There's no way you don't have a question. There's a lot of stuff. There's no way you don't have no questions or concerns. You might be like, I ain't feeling it. I just don't see how I can be motivated 180 days. I'm just not feeling it. Questions. All right, I'm going to ask for some comments in a minute. If you don't have questions, I'm going to ask for some comments. You might not like the comment, the questions. Just
what are you getting your PhD in?
Educational administration with an emphasis in leadership. One day, long to have a boarding academy that's just out nowhere, kids riding horses, just getting away from the urban community, and just 4 to 8 years of just cows, horses, just not going back. Because you know how we give you a value system here, and we work, and then you got to go home, and they undo it, and we start over the next day, and we like doing the tug of war. I just don't know no more tug of war. Just come live with me for 8 to 4 years and just get inundated with all of this information, and then go to college and change the world. So yeah, educational administration, yes ma'am. Undergrad, yeah, all degrees pretty much same thing, education. Okay. Any more questions? All right. Yeah, thank you, sir, because they was about to get it. Thank you, sir.
What age did you start going to, your career pulled you back into church and that guy started?
He said charity?
No, I'm just wondering how old were you when you not dropped out of high school, but when that guy started motivating you to
about 17, 18.
All right.
Yep, 16, I started going to the church late 16s. I'm born in September 3rd, so I started going to church 16 about summer, June. And so 17, I was there for about 3 months when you started asking me questions. About 16, 17, I had dropped out of high school.
Prior to that, did you even think about going
to college?
To college or even finishing high school?
From Detroit, bro. For real, it's cultural.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 4G in Chrysler.
I mean, did you know that you were going to be dropping out of high school, though? That was just your plan?
I'll be honest with you. I was like most kids, you go because somebody dropped you off in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I mean, they drop you off, so you go every year because that's what you're supposed to do. But when I got older and I wasn't living at home anymore, there was no accountability.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I doing this for? I'm not even past that. What am I going 8 to 3? What am I doing? And my boys aren't going, and they driving fancy cars. They're making good money. They're not going to school. They got the best girls. I mean, their lives look better than mine, and that's what you're competing against. You're telling me to read a book, and I'm telling you, there's people out here who are making money, and they feed their family, and you telling me to come there's no connection, and that's what my dissertation is on, goal framing. And what I try to help school districts do is find a goal, help kids make the connection of, why am I reading a book? So I hate books, right? But $24.99. Let's be real, $24.99. This is gonna help my son go to college. This pays my staff. And more important, it's real, I'm very transparent. As an African-American male, I used to have to fight to get a certain honorarium, but when you published, we live in a world where degrees matter, especially when you're an African-American male. I'll be real, Tony Robbins don't have a PhD. Jim Rohn don't have a PhD. But for me to climb this ladder, I gotta have, whatever you can have, I gotta have it. So I figure if I need a PhD, that's gonna help, being published is gonna help, then I'm gonna get published, right? And one book ain't enough, right? No, for real, because I would tell, when they would read it, they'd be like, oh, it's great, it's a narrative. Real, that's what they would say, oh, that's your story, it's cute, it's your story. So I had to do one with theory to show, yep, I am a practitioner, but don't believe the hype. I went to college, I understand theory. So this book is all principles and it's how to. And so I knew that they would look at this with a little bit more depth than they would as a narrative, right? But I don't like school, I hate school. I don't even like to write, I hate writing. But if this is gonna change the trajectory of my life and my family's life, then it's worth doing it. So I hate school, but it gives me options. And now, I'll just be honest, you can't say to me, we don't have it in the budget. I got a PhD. I've been doing it for 20 years. I work for the NFL, the NBA. I work for Quicken Loans, AT&T, Pfizer. Like, what's the reason now? Like, I need a real reason now why you can't pay me. I know what you paid that guy. I know what you paid him. And you told me you didn't have it in the budget, but you paid him. So now I got all the degrees. Now I can take you to court now. Because now it's not fair, right? But before I couldn't say anything because I only had a 4-year degree. So I'll be real with you. A lot of my educating myself is not just for the purpose of transformation, but it's also for social mobility. And when you start telling these kids how getting your grandma out of that neighborhood, how this is going to help with that, then you got a kid who coming to school now like, oh, okay, all right. If I get a degree, this can do that. Okay, I got you. And then the reason why you see this is because most of the kids where I come from feel like as soon as you get that degree, you know what you do? You leave. Everybody that's got a degree, they leave and they never come back. So for me, I stay in the community because I want kids to know you can get a degree. You can get a PhD and not be a sellout. You can get a PhD and still be who you are, where you come from, but you can code shift when you need to, right? Right? You can have multiple languages, right? Because you can't, there's a certain way you do have to speak in every environment. So for me, I was probably about 17, 18, but that pastor helped me to realize, he's like, look, you're a hard-headed kid, and you hate being told what to do. If you don't finish school, you're gonna go to jail and somebody's gonna tell you what to do for the rest of your life. So if I were you, as much as you like your freedom, he said every degree is gonna help you to get more and more freedom. So if I were you, I would get degree. And that spoke to me. So then when I got to college, it took me 12 years, right? I almost didn't finish. And a pastor came to me and told me, different guy, you just like your father. I said, I don't know my father, and you don't know my father. What does that mean, you're gonna be just like your father? He said he never finished nothing. He started, but he didn't finish. You're gonna be just like him. But if you finish this degree, you're gonna learn how to be a finisher. And that's gonna take your career to a whole other level. And I finished the degree not for school. I finished the degree to prove to myself that I could finish something. And I only did the master's because I had never finished anything on time in my life. And I wanted to see if I could start something and finish it on time. And the master's degree was the only thing in my life, the only thing. But I started when you were supposed to start, and I finished when you were supposed to finish. I think the PhD probably took me almost 8 years, right? But I was like, at this point, who cares? I did one good thing, right? Who cares if I finish that in 4 years or not? So good question. Good with time? Good. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
When the pastor kept asking you, telling you to get your GED, did you ever think about just avoiding him and not wanting to come back because you knew what he was going to say?
Yeah, do you know how painful it feels when somebody tells you to do something that you don't think you're capable of doing? But you know why I kept coming back? Because the love he gave me was greater than the rejection that I felt. Because I didn't want to come sometimes, because I already knew what he was going to do. Let me tell you what I do with my students. Man, you love me so much. I do so much for you. I just had one of my staff members go to Australia with me. He's getting married. And through my work, we ended up meeting a jeweler who's like right under Tiffany's. He lives in Australia, but his companies are all over the world. It's called Couturier. And so when we went to his shop, he wanted us to go to his shop and see his shop. I bought my staff member, because he's engaged, I bought him a ring. But what happened was the jeweler's son's been watching my stuff, and his life has changed, but he just got a divorce about 3 or 4 years ago. His son been going through. So his son been watching my stuff, and he's transformed like, E.T. man, whatever I can do for you. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. You're in a jewelry company, whatever. I was like, you see that ring right there? I said, Jamal, pick a ring. He picked the ring. I said, how much is that ring? He said, about $5,000, $6,000, but for you, I'll give it to you for $1,800. And it's an American exchange, so it's really only gonna cost me about $1,500, $1,600. So I bought the ring and told Jamal, do me a favor. Whatever I was gonna do for your wedding, this is yours. You go back. Let me tell you something, I'll never have to worry about, nobody else is gonna hire this kid. I'll never have to worry about losing him as an employee. We good. Whatever I tell him to do, he'll do above and beyond. Why? Because my theory is, if you come in my space, I'm gonna love you so much, I'm gonna find a need, and I'm gonna fill that need, and whatever I ask you to do, you're gonna be willing to do it because you know how much I care. What's wrong with most schools is teachers can't get kids to do stuff because you don't have a relationship with them, right? I'm talking about Michigan State. I got Jamal through school. Why? I met his grandma on the first. I made the parents come to my program. I met his grandmother. I told his grandmother in her face, I will get this boy through school if you help me. And every time he would mess up, I say, Jamal, I'm about to call your grandma. I'm talking about this kid fight anybody. But when I said grandma, Don't have me call your grandma. He would put it in gear. And for most of us, you know, you like, I'm gonna take you to the principal. I ain't scared of the principal. I ain't got no daddy. I ain't scared of him. But when you start people that they have a connection with, you start telling them, and they know you know their grandma, and she come up to the school every now and then. Grandma, he up here clowning. Do you know how he gonna the hurt that when he knows his grandma knows? And so for most of us, we don't have a relationship with it. We don't even understand why we need to get them involved. It's my classroom. I run this classroom. No. What made Olivia Pope is all the connections that she had. She could pick up the phone and make a phone call in a minute. That's called networking. And for many of us, we don't know how to network. So all my staff, I married most of everybody on my team. I'm their godfather. Like, I'm like really in their lives. I've done funerals for their families. Like, I've given them scholarships for school. And I'll be real, on this level, all you need is some hot Cheetos. Like, you don't even need money. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. You just need some hot Cheetos, right? And it's on the pop. When I was in the school district, I used to keep certain candy and stuff and give them little rewards, right? And they would do whatever I tell them to do just for, I would find a class clown and give him a little leadership in the class, let him help me with the curriculum, help me run the class. I tell you to shut up is one thing. Tyrone tell you to shut up, that's something totally different. Tyrone like, I'll see you after school. I'll see you on the way home. If you disrespect Miss Kara, I'll deal with you. That's a whole nother level of respect. So I didn't have a problem sharing power in my classroom when I ran the class. I knew the class clown was a class clown, not because he was just disrespectful. He wasn't challenged. She wasn't challenged. The schoolwork wasn't enough. So I had to come up with, help me with my curriculum. As I'm developing my lesson plan, look at it, tell me what you think. What would you do differently? I got them involved. I got them engaged. And it changed the whole classroom. So yeah, I did. It hurt to go back and keep hearing, get your GED, get your GED. But his wife the first lady she had a monster hug. And she would hug me every week. And when you have a strained relationship with your mom, like me and my mom weren't talking. So she would hug me and she would say, you got your GED? I say, no ma'am. She come right in here and she was short. So she'd get right in here and she'd pull me in. You know that hug I'm talking about? Yeah. Not the one that Pack Ministries like that one. But she would bring you in, like all the way in, hold you for a couple seconds, and she would kiss me on my cheek and said, I love you, baby. Go get your GED. That's what she would call me, baby. I love you, baby. Go get your GED. And so that love, and then let's be real, they fed us every week in church. There was a meal attached. The praise team sang. And I'm not even talking about religion. I'm talking about being in a safe environment. Nobody, this was back in the day, it's different now. They wasn't shooting and killing. Like the church was like a no, shoot zone, no curse zone. And so we knew when we were in church, we were safe. So I'd rather be in a safe environment and feel the pain. But can I tell you something? When I graduated, they were some of the first people I called. And I actually graduated from his university, so he was there. So the joy, man, every time I see him, every time I see her, and I get a different award or I do a video or something, they see me, and when I walk in, she don't even say nothing to me. She's like, come on, bring it in. And I'm like 44 years old now. She's like, bring it in. And she hugged me and tell me I love you. And I'll never forget them, and every chance I get to tell a story, I tell it, and I'm being real, and I know some of us come from different environments, but we know with the Latino community and the African American community, the family thing is huge. That's a strong piece, and that piece has to be incorporated into your classroom if you're going to bring the best out of them. So that relationship, when you have a relationship with folk, you do things for people that, my grandmother called me the other day, and it was so funny, I was busy, but she said it was weird. She said, this is grandma, almost like, I don't care about your little fame. This is grandma. You should be answering the phone right now. And as soon as the gig was over, I called my grandma and we were talking, and I already knew it was one of those calls where she needed money. But it's grandma, so she don't have to put her shame. She don't have to go with, I need $1,500, baby. It's grandma, I heard it. I called my agent, I'm on the road, make sure you do what you gotta do, cut a check, get a check to my grandma, right? So when you have a relationship with people, you do things for them, where you can get them to do things for you that you can't get people to do for you when you don't have a relationship. So I know that may seem small and insignificant with policy and all of that curriculum development. I know that may not make sense, but in the communities that you're in, research shows that those are strong components, that the relationship element and the parent involvement element is a real strong piece. And a lot of parents don't come because they feel, let me tell you something, man, I'm educated, whatever that means, and educated people are some of the most, man, critical people I've ever met in my life. I'm talking about, like, you could talk and they're like, that, you know, that subject verb agreement. I'm like, well, we're not even taking a test. Like, we just in church talking. Like, do I have to have my guards up? Like, I gotta go there, I gotta go education, you know, like, I just wanna be myself. But we can be very critical at times. And so a lot of our parents who are not college educated feel very uncomfortable coming into our space because they're not on that level. And the way we speak sometimes, that's why, like I said, I do the whole, when I walk into a class with some teachers, like, oh, he's dressed like that. But when I walk in, the kids are automatically like, oh, he got the J's on. We can relate. He got the 5950. We can relate. Whereas in my community, you come in a shirt and a tie, and you could just be from the, like, real, you could be Eric Thomas, but as soon as they see symbolism, when they see that shirt and the tie, they automatically like, you don't relate to me. I went through exactly what you went through. But symbolism, they don't see that. So I think that's important. Finally, I was just at the Chick-fil-A for those of you who follow me on Instagram, and man, I love Chick-fil-A. We don't have one in Michigan. And just the customer service is always, it's always the same. So I go in, and he's like, E, you like the breakfast? I was like, I don't do breakfast. He said, well, we're going to Chick-fil-A though. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, I don't do breakfast. He said, what do you mean? I said, I'll show you. I walk in, I said, can I have the chicken sandwich, please? He was like, no problem. It'll take 8 to 10 minutes. I was like, no problem. Like, no. They sell chicken at 8 o'clock in the morning. They give you what you want. So she said 8 to 10 minutes. I said, not a problem. Can I have cheese, please? She said, not a problem. What's your name? They never use a number. You ever been to Burger King, they call your number and you didn't know it was your number? You ever been to Burger King? 0598. You just sitting there. Like, man, they taking forever with my food. They called 0598 10 minutes ago. And then they say double cheeseburger fry, like, oh, that's me. But Chick-fil-A, they don't do that. They say, what's your name? I've always responded to my name. Use my name when you call me. I'm not talking about just my name. Call my name like you love me. Call my name like you believe me. Call my name like you know I can do it. You call my name like that, and I'm going to respond every single time. And this is what the lady says to me. She said, Mr. Thomas, I told you to be 8 to 10 minutes, but can I get you something to drink while you wait? I'm like, for free? Like, is this like a setup? Because I told you I wanted a drink. She's like, no, for free. What would you have? And now you have an option of this, that. You know, girl, come on. You know I went with it. I'm from Detroit. We don't have a Chick-fil-A. You know I went lemonade. She knew the deal. And I told her, hey, I said, can I get a little sweet tea? She give me a little sweet tea in it. Absolutely. And guess what happened? I tagged it. And I got 100 and something thousand followers. And they saw Chick-fil-A. Free advertisement. You love on them, they're going to walk out and tell every student about you. You need to take so-and-so. She all cool. Now, she'll push you, but she love you. And they're going to be running to take your class. Now, listen to me. Customer service. I know it's school, but it's still customer service. You treat them well, it'll be the best year you've ever had in your life. Some of the most difficult people, I have the greatest time with them because we have a relationship. So guys, nothing you can't do. I love your principal. I'm gonna be honest. What grade level was this? Okay, say it with me. What level is this?
Pre-K through 5.
How many times have you ever heard me say I speak to pre-K through 5? Guys, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This, and I'm not saying this for real to gas him up. This man is genius. People don't even call me. They don't even believe I speak to kindergartners. People don't even call my agent to ask me to speak to third graders. When they see me with the NBA, they just assume. There's no way, my man. There's no way he's making that kind of money and he coming. And the reason why you don't have, because you didn't ask. I never do K through 12 or K through 5 ever. Except the last time he called me that. I don't do it. And then he told me financially genius. Eric, we can only do this, but if you do this, we can do this. I'm like, hey, go for it. Well, I can't. How's that look if he put on Twitter? E.T. wouldn't speak to the baby. He's like, he had the whole little speech. He had it all worked out, right? I couldn't say no. How many times if I ever flown into a major city and drive 2.5 hours. I don't ever do that. If you don't live in a major city, and 15, 20 minutes out, I'm not about to drive 2.5 hours to come. I'm not about to do a 3-hour flight. Get off the flight. I'm sorry. I'm not going to drive an hour and 30 to the Detroit airport. Fly 3 hours and then drive another 2.5 hours to speak to a group of people for 45 minutes who probably don't have any questions or comments. Just gonna stare at me after all that work I put in to get here, and then I gotta go back and do it all over again. This is gonna be the greatest year you ever had because it starts from the top and it works its way all the way down. So no excuses. Yep, it's gonna get hard, but you can do it. And more importantly, think 20 years from now, some kid's gonna come back to you and say, thank you so much. Because while everybody else was leaving my life and walking out of my life, you came into my life, which is why I have the utmost respect. My next door neighbor is a firefighter. Anything he wants, tickets to the game, meet the celebrities. Why? Because on 9/11, when the whole world was running out, there was a group of men who was running in, and a group of women who was running in. And let me tell y'all something. You saw death. You saw people jumping out of buildings. You saw the buildings collapsing, and they running in it with all that smoke, knowing that this might be my last time that I ever see my family. They knew it, but they made a vow. When they graduated from the academy, we're here to serve. And there were wives when their husbands got dressed. Wives, husbands who saw them when they went, they knew this is the last time I'm gonna see my husband again. And they went in that building to save one life, and they lost their lives. And I know what we ask you to do is similar to that. What you make financially and what you asked to do is ludicrous. But you made a commitment. You made a commitment. When my wife got sick, she came home, Midwestern sister. She came home, she was in tears. She said, do you realize this means I might one day be in a wheelchair, I might not be able to walk. Do you realize from this disease I could be blind? I said, yeah, I realize it. She started crying. She said, I'm so sorry. I said, you sorry for what? She said, I got sick at the height of your career. I said, sweetheart, do you know it'd be an honor to push you in a wheelchair? Do you know it'd be an honor? I was 16 years old when you started dating me. I was homeless, a high school dropout in abandoned buildings, and you helped me to get to where I am today. It would be an honor to help you get dressed every day. It would be an honor to show your daddy when I told you I love you, I was serious. When I told your mama I love you, to do this and not walk out on you during this time, it will let them know I'm serious. It will let everybody in that church that I said I do to you, it will let them know, and more importantly, the God that I said it in front of that day. It will let God know that I love you unconditionally. I ain't tripping. I'm here. This ain't no contract. This is covenant. I challenge you to go from contract to covenant. And contract is when you feel like doing it, you do it. And when you don't feel like doing it, you don't do it. Contract. Death do us part. Contract is sick. Covenant is sickness and in health. Covenant is richer or from poor. And that's what your leadership is asking you to do. Your leadership is asking you to go in there and do what you vowed you would do when you were in college. And now you're in the real world. And if you live by covenant and not by contract, not only this city, but this world is going to be a better place. Thank you for what you do every single day. If I can do anything to support you, I will. And I'll see you guys at the top. Thank you for your time.
Their energy. So, all right, we're gonna bring in Mr. Toad for you. Mr. Toad is coming down. Let's welcome, give him a round of applause, boys and girls. How y'all doing? I said, how y'all doing? I like the way he did that. I didn't know any school in the nation did this, so I want to try it too. I just want to try it too. Ready? Everybody, are y'all ready? I'm gonna see if y'all ready. Alright, now that's cool if I'm from Nacogdoches, but I came from Houston. So I was expecting a little bit more energy. I need y'all to give me everything you got. I'm gonna say it one more time and then I want y'all to come with me. Y'all gonna come with it? Alright, here we go. Let's see. Let's see on this side first. Y'all chill. They gonna get the first side. I want y'all to get the second side. The second one. All right. Now y'all heard him. Now y'all heard him. All right, we all here. All right, we all here. Now, I want y'all to do another one for me. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say knowledge for you. Y'all going to say brain. Everybody got it? Yeah. Knowledge for you. Brain. Knowledge for you. Brain. Knowledge for you. Brain. DJ such and such, hit me. Okay. Everybody, listen. Knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Listen. Knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Knowledge for your brain. Hold here one for your vein. And a presidential flow. Yeah, it won't buy you my champagne. I got a lot of heat, but I ain't Dwayne. I plant a lot of seed and get a lot of grain. But it's hard to see that picture when you stuck inside the frame. I'm the bomb. Boom. Dynamite. The school to be afraid of the dark, but most of y'all are scared of that light. Boy, I'm flexing. That means I'm super tired. When your lifestyle is crooked, it's hard to walk over. You can't cook an aching this with big leaves. I was taught that DOGs, catch me, those girls got power prints. No, we got burned off on too far from that tree. It'll be better if I talk about the kids that paint tripping like an nosebleed. Everybody look, knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Look, knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Look, knowledge for you. Knowledge for you. Who can dance? Who can dance? Let me see you stand up. For you. Knowledge for you. Yeah. Knowledge for you. 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 Appreciate y'all. Now, all right, guys. Now listen to me. 3 things, and I'm gonna let you guys get back to class. Shh. All right, everybody ready? All right, now that was important what he said. Shh. That was important what he said. All right, so I gotta ask you guys a quick question. How many of you guys have a dream or a goal? I need you to raise your hand. You have a dream and a goal. All right. So hands down. Now guys, listen to me. This is very important. I'll be honest with you guys. There was a time in my life where I really didn't like school. Okay? All right? I know nobody in here is like that. All right? But there was a time I didn't like school. Okay? But this is what happened. It changed because guess what I realized, guys? I realized that knowledge was going to help me to make my dreams become a reality. So the more knowledge I got, the better off I was, all right? So I gotta tell you 2 stories, all right? 2 stories, all right. Shh. So here's the first one. So I have 2 children. I have a boy and a girl. My son's the oldest. But I'll be honest with you guys. I wanted a girl first. Not most guys want, boy. I wanted a girl. Why? Because my grandmother had 14 children, and 11 were girls, and only 3 were boys, and 2 of my uncles were in jail most of my life. So I was just really raised by girls. So I wanted a girl first, but I ended up having my son Jalen first. And my mother said the reason why you had a son, because everything you did to me, son, is gonna come back to you. All right. So I had my son. I changed his name. I gave him a different name. But guess what? He acted just like his dad. Right. So one day I went to go pick up my daughter. Now Jalen's 3 grades above his sister. So I picked her up from school. It was about the 3rd or 4th grade. I picked her up and she was crying. Right? And I was hurt. I was like, which little boy hit you? I pull off my belt. I'm going to get him, right? Right? When she first came out, guys, she was crying. So she was crying first. Like, it wasn't even no tears. Like, it's like back in the day when my grandma used to whip us with the switch. When my grandma would hit us with that thing, it would hurt so bad that there was no sound. It was just like this when she first hit us. We'd just be like... And then about 3 minutes later, and my grandmother was mean because she would say, you better stop crying before I give you something to cry about. And I'm like, you did give me something to cry about, Grandma. Right? She said, you better stop that crying. So my daughter was just like,
right? And so I was like, what little boy hit you? I'm mad. I put my car in park. I'm running toward her like the Matrix. Grab my belt. And I'm like, just point to him and I'll get him. And she said, no, Daddy, I'm sorry. I said, don't be sorry. He hit you first. I already know what happened. You don't have to be sorry. She said, no, Daddy, I got a B in math. I said, what? She said, I got a B in math. I said, I'm about to go to jail because you got a B in math? I'm about to kill one of these little boys. So she was crying. I said, what's wrong, sweetheart? She said, I won't get the Patriot Award. I want the Patriot Award. All I've ever had is A's and B's. I mean, all A's. This is my first B. And I was like, don't worry about it. You're going to be all right. She's like, tell Harvard that. I'm not going to get to go to Harvard with B's. I was like, Harvard? Ooh, where is that? I didn't know where Harvard was at the time, right? So we got home. Right? She's in the corner, she crying, she going through it. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go get ice cream. My son comes in the house, guys. My oldest, my son comes in. He's excited. He plays football now. He got to keep his grades up to play football. He kicks the door in with his report card. Dun, 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 dun. Right? I'm like, yeah, my man got a good report card. He throws it on the table. Behold. And I'm like going toward it like, Dad, don't look at it. Before you look at it, promise me when you look at it, if it's good, we'll go out to eat tonight. Now my daughter's in the corner crying with one B. She don't want to go out to eat. Ugh. My man's like, we're going out to eat tonight. I'm like, no problem. Where you want to go? He like doing it big. Like I'm thinking McDonald's or something. He like the Olive Garden. I'm like, no problem. So I go get his card, report card. I open it up and he got all C's. He's like, yeah, I passed all my classes, Dad. Still on the football team. I'm like, well, son, you got a C- in English, like, but I got a C+ in gym. That balance all that out, Dad. That's a C. And I'm like going through it, y'all, like unbelievable, right? Watch this. 2 children, same household. They go to the same church, same after-school programs. Everything is the same. But one of my kids, he used to want to do just enough to get by. And then my daughter, she wanted to be excellent at everything she did. So I need you to do me a favor. If you have a dream and a goal, okay, listen. If you have a dream and a goal, you can't get to your dream or your goal being average. All right? Everybody say, I'm not average. One more time, I'm not average. One more time, I'm not average. All right, so listen to me. From now on, in your schoolwork, you're not average. I want A's and B's if you can get A's and B's. I want you to give 120%. Shh. When you clean your little area in school, or you clean your area at home, I don't want you to do it average because you're not average, okay? Everything you do, guys, from this point forward, I want you to put 120% in. All right? Everybody say 120% on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so here goes my last story, guys. I want you to be phenomenal, okay? All right, I want you to be phenomenal. All right, so my son, now he's in college now, right? He costs a lot of money now, all right? He's in college. But when he was in high school, I think he was like 16 years old, and we had this rule in my house. You cannot go outside and play when you're a kid until the house is clean. How many of you got parents like that, or your grandparents are like that? Yeah, you can't go outside until the house is clean. All right, hands down. So Jalen comes to me when he's 16 years old. He has a driver's license. He has a car, and I'm upset. He said, Daddy, can I go outside? I said, you're too old to be asking me, can you go outside? What do you mean, can you go outside? You're 16 years old. Yeah, you can go outside. You know my rules. He was like, okay, Dad, can you come in the kitchen and make sure it's clean? I'm like, come in the kitchen to make sure you're 16 years old. I said, all right, I'm gonna come. It's the last time I'm gonna come in here. All right, I said, this is what I want you to do. So we got the marble countertops, right? So I said, when you finish cleaning the marble, I want you to open up the shade and I want you to look at the marble. I want you to walk around the marble countertops. And if you can see, boom, the sunshine. Boom, if you can see your reflection. Then what I want you to do is I want you to put your name on it. Not like literally write your name on it, you know what I'm saying? Like write your name on it and step back and say, it is good. Right? So then I want you to the black floors. I want you to get on your knees and I just want you to look at the black floors and see if there's any crumbs, any dust, anything. And if there's not, and I want you to put your name on it. And I want you to step back and look at the floor and say, it is good. Then I want you to take the glasses that you put in the dishwasher and I want you to raise them up in the sun. If there's no spots in it, I want you to step back and look at your work and say, it is good. And then you go outside. You never have to call me again. I want you to evaluate your own work.
So this is what I need you to do for me. I don't need you to give your stuff to the teacher. I need you to look at it once. I need you to look at it twice. I need you to look at it 3 times. And if it's perfect to your ability, I need you to step back and look at it and put your name on it and say, look, don't put your name on it until you can look back at it and say, this is good. All right, so everything you do, don't make your teachers make you do it. Don't make your parents make you do it. I want you to do everything that your hand find to do. I want you to do it with all your might. If it's math, even if you don't like math, do it with all your might. Even if it's English and you don't like English, do it with all your might. Everything you do from this day forward, I want you to give 120%. How much? 120%. How much? 120%. Why? Because I ain't average. Say it again. I ain't average. All right, real quick, I just want the girls to do it for me. Ladies, do it with me with attitude. I ain't average. There we go. One more time. I ain't average. All right, guys, I need you to do it for me. I ain't average. All right, on 3, everybody together. I'm not average. 1, 2, 3. I'm not average. 1, 2, 3. I'm not average. All right, Carpenter, so do me a favor. There's nothing about this school that's average. There's nothing about your teachers that is average. There's nothing about your administration that's average. There's nothing average about you. So be phenomenal or you will be forgotten. Say it with me. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. Again, be phenomenal or be forgotten. All right, so I'm telling you to be phenomenal because you are. That's my time, guys.